It's time for another army review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is my review of the Rohan faction from the Lord of the Rings, Armies of the Lord of the Rings for the Middle-earth structure battle game. So this is a big one, so we'll just go straight into it. Rohan, long time favourite of very many people. James Clark, ROHIRRIM. So we finally get to see what the new rules for Rohan can do, and I'll embellish a bit about what I think about the changes as I go through it, and then do a rundown at the end as well. So first of all, who can Rohan have in their army? So you have Théoden, King of Rohan, Théodred, Heir of Rohan, Éomer, Marshal of the Riddermark, Éowyn, Shield Maiden of Rohan, Meriadoc, Brandybuck, Knight of the Mark, Oakenbrand, Captain of Rohan, Gamling, Captain of Rohan, Háma, Captain of Rohan, Grimbold of Grimslade, Eorl the Young, Captains of Rohan, King's Huntsman, Warriors of Rohan, Riders of Rohan, Rohan Royal Guard, Rohan Outriders and Sons of Éowl. So you have loads of cool profiles, and some of them have been changed quite radically, some have not. And there's a couple of ones, especially Meriadoc, which is a new one, and also they have combined the two Éomer profiles. So previously you had Éomer, Marshal of the Riddermark and Knight of the Pelennor, but now they're one profile. For allies, they are historical allies with the Fiefdoms, Lothlorien, Minas Tirith and the Wildmen of Druadan. Convenient allies with the Dead of Dunharrow, Fangorn Fellowship, Halls of Thranduil, Misty Mountains, Rangers, Rivendell, Survivors of Lake Town and the White Council, and impossible allies with the rest. There are a few things that comes up in the army list that will change that dynamic up a bit. Additional rules: Riders of Rohan within this army list do not count towards your force's bow limit. That has been a long established fact that the Riders of Rohan do not count towards the bow limit, so you can have as many as you want with bows. And their army bonus, and this is a big one: Ride for Ruin and the World's Ending. Friendly Rohan cavalry models gain +1 strength on the turn which they charge. Absolutely fantastic. And it's friendly Rohan cavalry, so it even applies to heroes. So one of the reasons why Éomer doesn't really need his Marshal of the Knight of the Pelennor, since he has that rule as an army bonus. So we have, first up of the heroes, we have Théoden, King of Rohan. Man Rohan infantry hero and a hero of legend. It was probably the first hero that was revealed during the Warhammer community articles, as well as on the Archon seminar. He's gone up by 10 points from his previous incarnation. Did I say points? Oh, I hope one. One mistake. I'll go on to say goblins. Ah, damn it. Alright. His movement is 6, his fight is 5 with a 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 5 courage. He's got +1 might, so he's up to 3 now. He's gone 3 will, so he's up to 3, and 1 fate, so he's up to 1. He carries Háma, which is a special sword and armor. Háma is a sword. Additionally, Théoden may use his feint special strike even if his fight value is lower than his opponent's. That plays along with the new version of feint pretty nicely. He can do heroic march, heroic strike, heroic challenge, and in the because I didn't have the Kingdoms of Men book available when I did my my preparations for this, but I couldn't see him having an option previously for an armoured horse. And now has that option along with horse, heavy armour and shield. So you can use him in every incarnation of model you have. You can use him without armour on horse, you can use him with heavy armour on an armoured horse, and whatever you like. He's got Expert Rider and Horse Lord. He's got the Will of Men, is easily corrupted. If Grima Wormtongue is within 6 inches of Théoden, King of Rohan, then Théoden is reduced to fight value 3, 4+ shoot, and 1 attack. Additionally, he might not declare heroic actions and may not use will points. Absolutely fantastic way of reintroducing his old profile while keeping it fluffy. I really like this. I think that is absolutely awesome. And lastly, he's got Théoden Standfast is 12 inches rather than 6. So Théoden has got a mighty boost indeed. He can use his 1 fate point on his horse if he feels he will stay alive longer for that, because it's not just using his fate point on his horse, it's keeping him mounted, giving him that 4+ in the way for shooting, is giving him that bonus to charge. He's got 3 attacks on the charge with +1 strength as well, so he is a beast if he can charge. And additionally, his followers have rules that back this up as well, so it could actually benefit the army more if he uses that fate point on the horse. So we go next to his son Théodred, heir of Rohan. Sadly, he didn't last long. He's gone up by 2 goblins. Hey, I did it. 2 goblins with equipment, that is. Man, Rohan, infantry hero and hero of valor, so he can lead 15. He's got move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, 5 courage, 3 might, 3 will, 1 fate. So he's gone up by 1 attack and 1 fate from his previous profile. Carries heavy armor and sword. He has heroic strike and challenge as his heroic action options, and he can take horse, shield and throwing spear, so no changes there. His special rules are Expert Rider, and he also got Horse Lord, which is interesting. And he's got the Reckless Charge special rule, which is Théodred must charge an enemy model if he's able to do so. Additionally, on a turn in which he charges, Théodred may reroll any fail to wound rolls during the fight phase. So having father and son fight side by side, charging recklessly into a line, that can be absolutely devastating. With him having 4 attacks in the charge, yeah, pretty cool. Next up we have Éomer, Marshal of the Riddermark. He's gone up by 5 Moria Goblins with equipment in points, but there is reasons for that. His profile is move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 5 courage, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. He's got 3s in the right places for a ridiculously cheap price. So yeah, nothing to complain about there, I think. His total is gain an attack, gain the wound, gain the will, and gain the fate from the previous martial profile. I'm discounting the Knight of the Pelennor profile. He's got now he's got an armoured horse option. I didn't see him having that previously, as well as horse, shield, throwing spear options as well. So you can use both Knight of the Pelennor and the normal, the older version as well. So you have all the different options. The only option you really can't use unless you convert is the throwing spear option. So he's got Expert Rider and Horse Lord. So again, Horse Lord. And the Price of Grief. So this is a very fun one that ties in with Théoden. If Théoden or Éowyn are in the same force as Éomer, and either or both are slain for the remainder of the game, Éomer adds +1 to all wound rolls during the fight phase. Additionally, for the remainder of the game, Éomer must charge if able to do so. So again, really just like this enforces the glass hammer aspect of Rohan. Like if for instance Éowyn dies, and I'll explain a bit about why why Éowyn probably should, well, she probably shouldn't die, but she could do cool stuff. But all this ties together in a very nice way. So you have Éomer, who's become an absolute beast, and you have his sister Éowyn, Shield Maiden of Rohan. She's gone up by 2 goblin, more goblin with equipment of points. She is woman, Rohan, infantry hero, and minor hero. So she can lead 6. She has move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, 3 strength, 3 defense, 2 attacks, 2 wound, 5 courage, 2 might, 2 will, 2 fate. So she's gone up by +1 attack and +1 wound, and that's not cheap stats. So so I do think that's worth the extra couple of goblins. She carries a sword, and heroic actions are heroic resolve, strike, and strength. I did want to see challenge in there. I really did want to see challenge in there. That was one of the things I really wanted to see once I read the heroic challenge rule, is that, oh, Éowyn should have that. But yeah, she sadly don't. So the bear profile here is her in the model released with the Defenders of Helm Steep, where she doesn't have armor and a horse, but she can add armor, and she can add a horse, shield, and throwing spear. So she becomes a pretty good fighter if she gets all the equipment. She has Expert Rider and Horse Load, and she has a fantastic special, in my opinion, which is I shall kill you if you touch him. If Théoden is in your force and is slain, place a 25mm marker where he fell. Éowyn must move directly towards this marker during each of her move phases if able to do so. Once Éowyn has moved within 3 inches of this marker, she may not willingly move further than 3 inches away from it, for any reason for the remainder of the game. Additionally, whilst within 3 inches of the marker, Éowyn becomes fearless and must re-roll any fail to wound rolls. In addition, she also receives a bonus of +1 to a wound when making strikes against the model that slew Théoden. So this, along with Éomer's rule, really sets up a cool dynamic. And I've seen people talk about this, so I won't pitch this as my original idea, but you could have Théoden riding up with a small force of his cavalry to an objective and just stand there and challenge everyone. Because Théoden has heroic challenge, and he can challenge everyone and fight him to the death, and that keeps Théoden alive for a bit. So he can continuously give +1 fight to all of his cronies and give bonuses to other stuff in range. But when he finally dies, that means that both Éomer and Éowyn becomes absolute monsters. And especially if that is the place he dies, on the objective, that means that Éowyn really has a cool place to fight. So I think this is very cool. Next up we come to Meriadoc Brandybuck, Knight of the Mark. New hero, which costs the hideous amount of 5 more goblins with equipment worth of points. He is Hobbit, Rohan, infantry hero, and independent hero, so he actually has the Rohan keyword in there. And his move 4, fight 3, 3+ shoot, strength 2, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage, might, will, and fate 1, 1, 2. Carries armor and dagger. He's got the heroic strike option for use of his single might point, and he's got elven cloak, pony, and shield option. So he actually has the pony option in there, which is fantastic. Which means he becomes cavalry, but he No, does he? Oh! Does he get the cavalry keyword but not the bonus? Oh, I really hope he does, because then it's strength 3. He's got resistance to magic, throw stones, range of 8, strength of 1. So I really think this is a very nice profile, and I would absolutely love to see the plastic treatment, which we will see be done with Gandalf the White with Pippin on. I would like to see the same with Éowyn with Merry on as well. To get a new plastic Merry on foot, to get a new Éowyn on horse with all the options, additionally with space for a Merry on the saddle, which would be absolutely fantastic. Alright, next up we come to a long-time favourite of people, which is Oakenbrand, Captain of Rohan, a model everyone just popped into an army because he's fantastic. And that has been rectified. So he's gone up by 2 more goblins worth of points with equipment. And he's man, Rohan, infantry hero, and hero 42. So he can lead 12, and this is important. He's got move 6, fight 5, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 3, 1, 1 for might, 1 fate. So his profile hasn't changed at all. He carries heavy armor, sword, shield, and the horn of the Hammerhand. Horn of the Hammerhand is a war horn that adds +2 courage rather than +1. However, this war horn only affects friendly Rohan models. Finally, no longer just dropped into an army. He has to have a purpose of being there. There's one more purpose of that, and I'll come to that in a bit. He's got access to heroic march and heroic strength, in addition to the option for a horse. And here is the clincher. If your army includes Oakenbrand, you can upgrade any number of Rohan riders in his warband to Westfold Red Shields at the cost of points per model. Or a point, who knows. Westfold Red Shields count as being in range of a banner if Oakenbrand is within 3 inches. So, only his own warband, so that limits the total amount of Red Shields to 12. Perfect. But with the added bonus that they're within the range of banner if he's within 3 inches. He's got Expert Rider and Horse Lord. Fantastic. I think that's a really good addition, because I don't see him being allied in just with anyone. But I do see the next model being allied in a bunch of times with an equipment, and that is Gamling, Captain of Rohan. He's gone up by a goblin with equipment worth of points. He's man, Rohan, infantry hero, and hero 42, so he can lead 12. He's got move 6, fight 4, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2, 2 in attacks and wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate. So he's added a point to might for the points extra you pay for him. And he's got the normal captain profile, which is fittingly that he has the next one, because it's named. It's the old way of doing it. He carries heavy armor and sword. He's got access to heroic march and heroic defense. He can take the royal standard of Rohan and a horse for a number of points. Now here comes the reason why I think in a Minas army, or even a fiefdom's army, or perhaps even a Lothlorien army, this could be really good to just have him in, because Royal Standard of Rohan, passive ability, this precious heirloom is a banner. Additionally, any Rohan hero any Rohan hero, so yeah, well, you could pop him in there anyway. That are within 3 inches of the Royal Standard of Rohan at the start of any turn, and have no might remaining, automatically add 1 point of might to the store. This cannot take a hero model might beyond its starting level. Gamling suffers no penalties for carrying the Royal Standard of Rohan. So there are a couple of cool things to add here. That if a hero starts with 0 might, he cannot increase that one. That's an old one that carries through the old when the Rohan Outras were heroes. And in addition, it just means that Gamling wants to cycle through all of his might as soon as possible. Calling marches, calling combats, calling everything he just wants to, because he'd get one back every single turn. So it only applies to Rohan heroes, but again, just make everyone use up their might and they'll get a free one every turn. That should be absolutely fantastic. And in addition, the change to banner is that it applies to himself as well, any Rohan hero. He's got Expert Rider, Horse Lord, and he's now got Sworn Protector, which is basically the bodyguard rule for Théoden specifically. Next up, we have another captain profile. We have Háma, Captain of Rohan, man Rohan infantry hero, hero of fortitude, so he can lead 12. He's gone up by 1 Warrior Goblin with equipment worth of points. His move 6, fight 4, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate. So he's gone up by 1 might and 1 fate. He had 0 fate previously. So I think that is a very cool, very good adjustment. Nobody really took him, but I do see him being taken now because he can. He has heavy armor and sword, can do heroic defense, which is really cool. Coming into the defense of the king, as it were. And he's got option for horse and now even a shield, so he's added a shield option there. He's got Expert Rider, Horse Lord and Sworn Protector Théoden, so he's got the bodyguard rule for Théoden. So I think Háma is a good option in larger battles. I do think he ranks, I know James Clark talks about this rank of, this way you rank the different heroes. I think Théoden has just popped straight into the top now, but I do think Háma is now a viable option. Next up we have Grimbold of Grimslade, and how many people wanted a horse for him? How many indeed? Put up your hands and I'll see it. I won't. You can take down your hands now because he didn't get one. He's not getting a horse, even though he would have one in the movie because he's spoken to, not like this, but like this by Théoden, just before the charge of the ROHIRRIM. And yeah, I think it would be nice to see a hero with the two-handed axe on a horse, but again, it's, yeah, could be cool. Don't see why they didn't, but there might be a Rohan supplement coming in down the line with maybe a new model for him. So he's gone up by a Warrior Goblin with equipment worth of points. He's man Rohan infantry hero and hero of fortitude, so he can lead 12. He's got move 6, fight 5, 4 plus shoots. He's gone up by a fight. Is strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate. So he's also gone up by a might point. He carries armor and a two-handed axe, which means he has to use a two-handed. He can't use a normal one because it doesn't carry other equipment. He can do heroic strength, would be terrifying with him in strength 5 in some occasions. And he has an option. If your army includes Grimbold, you may upgrade any number of warriors of Rohan to Helmingas for the cost of point per models. Helmingas are strength 4 rather than 3. So yeah. He's always got that option, obviously, but it's included now as well. And he's gained an ability as well, which is Mighty Blow. I don't think he had that before, which is basically that every single one of his wounds turns into 2, which is good. Last of the named characters is Eorl the Young, the founder of Rohan himself. He is a man, a Rohan cavalry hero and a hero of valor. He's gone down by a staggering 5 Warrior Goblins with equipment worth of points. And he's there's probably a few reasons for that, and we'll go through that now. So he's move 6, fight 4, 5, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 5 courage, 3 might with a pretty little asterisk next to it, and 2 will and 2 fate. So he's gained an attack and a wound. But if your force contains Eorl the Young and any other named hero models from the Rohan army list, then it will automatically lose its army bonus. So no longer +1 strength to the charge. Also, if your army includes Eorl, then every alliance will be impossible allies. One exception would be Minas Tirith, so long as the Minas Tirith force also includes no named hero models. So this makes it so that Eorl isn't your third option for a hero in your Rohan army. It would be a themed option for a Rohan army. And there's a warrior as well, which will come pretty much into this as well. He carries heavy armor, sword, shield, throwing spears, and Felaroth. Felaroth is Eorl's noble steed, an armored horse with a move of 12 inches. So he keeps the 12 inches on his horse. He can do Heroic Resolve, Strike, Strength, and Defense. He's got Expert Rider, Horse Lord, and he's got Legendary Hero, which is the reason because of the asterisk, which is the first time it's shown that Eorl the Young expends a point of might. Roll a d6 on 4 plus the point of might is free and does not reduce Eorl's score of might. So he can be pretty devastating in the battle. Obviously you couldn't take any named heroes, so your hero selection in a pure Rohan army would go to Captain and King's Huntsman only. But I do think it's a very, very nice profile, and I think you could use him very fittingly with a profile we'll go through soon. So the King Huntsman has not changed at all that I could find. Again, I didn't have the Kings of Men book available, so unless some pesky Swede has changed the profile in the recent update to the Army Builder, I do think that this is valid, so he hasn't changed. His Man Rohan infantry hero and mine heroes can lead 6. That's obviously might be new. I don't think he could lead before. Is move 6, fight 3, 3 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 4 courage. You've got 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate, armor, sword, and longbow. Heroic actions are heroic accuracy, and he's got the Master Archer special rule, which is active ability. King's Huntsman only fail in the way rolls on a roll of a 1. Additionally, each time this model slays an enemy hero or monster model, restore the King's Huntsman might to its starting level. So again, a Rohan hero you want to burn through all the might on, especially when pinpointing the last wound on a hero or the last wound on a monster. That could be very devastating. Right? If you need a 6 to kill a monster and you roll a 3, you'll just use it all to kill it, and then you'll get all your might back. He's not an elf, so don't really think giving him expert shots would be nice, but I really like the way, and you can find this if you go way back in like to the early 20s or the late 20s in the Grand Campaign. You can find a scenario made to us in a competition where the King's Huntsman's profile was drastically improved. So yeah, I would like him to be a bit more beefy, but yeah, he's good. He's not bad at all. He's good if used in the right way. So last of the heroes we have Captain of Rohan. He's not changed at all. Well, he's gotten a new rule, 2 new rules actually. Is still move 6, fight 4, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. Carries armor and sword or axe. There's both. Yeah, there's proper release models are both with axe and sword. Yeah. He can do heroic march for his movement, as with every captain. And he's got options for horse, bow, heavy armor, shield, and throwing spears. He's got the Expert Rider and Horse Lord special rule, so he can use his fate for his horse. And he's got the new rule, Arise, Riders of Théoden. If this model is within 12 inches of Théoden and has the cavalry keyword, then the model with this special rule receives a +1 bonus to the fight value on the turn on which they charge. And we'll see this special rule again very soon, but that does mean he'll be fight 5, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. So, we've done with the heroes, and I do think that the hero selection for Rohan has been improved. All across the board, there are fluffy changes, there are very, very thematic changes, and yeah, I think most of the heroes have become very, very good. They're not as good as making them auto-includes in an all-hero army from this section alone, but I do think that the army itself can rely on its heroes, and you have some very nice synergies where your opponent really has to think. And that's kind of the most key bit here is, do I kill Théoden? Or do I kill Éowyn? Do I really want to do that? So yeah, I think that's a cool bit to think about. We have the Warriors of Rohan, most notably because they are the, well, they're the poster boy for the perfect warrior profile. They have not changed at all. Man, Rohan, warrior, infantry, still the same amount of points. Move 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage. Same exact profile, carries armor and sword or axe. Only thing that has changed is that the warhorn has been, again with warhorns in other armies, have been increased in points to reflect the points you pay for in the Hobbit era. So warhorns are quite powerful, so I do see this change. But they can also have banners, throwing spears, bows and shields. Really, really nice. You got the Riders of Rohan. They've gone up by a spare in points, I think. I think I can say that, yeah. Man, Rohan, Cavalry and Warrior. Same exact stat line as the Warrior, so 6 move, 3 fight, 4+ shoot, 3 in strength, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound and 3 courage. Well, say the same exact stat, they have the shield included in the profile, so defense 5 instead of 4. Armor, sword or axe, shield, bow and horse. Everything in a nice package, and they all got the option for a warhorn and a banner, and even got the option for a throwing spear. They're expert riders, and they have the same exact ability as the captain, Arise Warriors of Théoden, Riders of Théoden, and within 12 inches of Théoden, if they have a cavalry keyword, then the model with a special rule receives a +1 bonus to the fight value on the turn which they charge. Another profile which hasn't changed that I could see is the Rohan Royal Guard. Still the same amount of points, man, Rohan, infantry and warrior. Still the same stats, so move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound and 3 courage. They got a heavy armor, sword and shield, option for banner, horse and throwing spear. Do they pay 1 less point for the horse now? I think so. I actually think they pay a point less for the horse. Yeah. They got bodyguard and expert rider and Arise Riders of Théoden, so +1 bonus to the fight on a turn which they charge if they're within 12 inches of Théoden. So now we come to Rohan Outriders, and this has been a profile with some problems in several editions. For in the Blue Book they were heroes with zero might, so they could get infinite might back from Gamling, which we saw. So lots of people take in big tournaments, and they were cheap, so they got up by some point, and this is because it really didn't be an option just taking normal foot warriors with bows when you could take the Outriders for an extra point and get a better shoot value out of that, and in addition they're a special rule. So I do think that the point increase is a good thing, but they do pay a point less for the horse again, so it's good. They have the same exact stat line, but with one change, and that's they got move 6, fight 3, 3+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, and 3 courage. I think there were 4 before, and there was really no reason why there would be courage 4, because they have nifty special rule. They have armor, sword, and bow, option for horse, which has become 1 point cheaper, and they become expert riders. I think they were before. And they have the Vanguard active special ability, which is that outriders may use friendly hero models stand fast regardless of range, which is the same exact rule they had, and the reason why it doesn't really matter what courage they have, I think. So we come now to the Sons of Eorl, a very, very contentious unit, because it was an auto-include in every single Rohan army. Shock cavalry with armored horses with move 12, and yeah, I think it's good now that they've been hit with some kind of nerf bat, but then again they might become good again, so we'll see. They've gone down by a couple of points, the man, Rohan, cavalry and warrior. They're still move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, so still strength 4, defense 6, but they have 1 attack, not 2. They got 1 wound and 4 courage. They carry heavy armor, axe, shield and armored horse. So they retain their armored horses, but they're no longer move 12. They are expert riders, and they have the Riders of Eorl active ability. Whilst within 6 inches of Eorl the Young, Sons of Eorl gains a bonus of +1 to their attack value. So in a pure historical army of Rohan without any other named heroes, Sons of Eorl are the old profile again for a reduced number of points, except they don't have that extra 2 inches of movement. But I do think this is absolutely fantastic that they have, well, Jay has done a lot of cool things to the profile, and made it so that it isn't just an auto-include. You have to think about what heroes to have, think about what units to get, and yeah, basically just do cool things with it. So what do I think of the army in general? I think Rohan is a force to be reckoned with. I think they are a hideous shock troop, but they have multiple weaknesses. If they meet a hero killer army, they can become very good in a turn or 2, and then they will falter. If all the heroes are wiped, they will falter pretty quick, because all the weight in a Rohan army is the charge, is the cavalry impact charge, and I do think that's thematic, I think that's fluffy, and I think that's the reasoning for it. But if, yeah, they're a glass hammer that just became crystal, so it shatters easily. But that's my thoughts. What do you think about this army? Tell me in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, I've been Andreas Norwegian Viking, and this has been my review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. It's the Rohan faction. Do comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider supporting us on Patreon using the link in the description below. It is a fantastic way for you to give us your support, and it keeps the studio running. It lets us expand, improve and give you more cool videos each and every week, and if that's at all interesting for you, you'll find a link in the description. It'll take you to a Patreon page and you can find more about it there. But more importantly, support your hobby.